But first, our top story this hour, detention appeal denied. Japan's Supreme Court rejected an appeal by lawyers of former Renault Nissan Chairman Carlos Ghosn to end his detention. It comes amid Ghosn's fourth arrest on suspicion of financial misconduct. Carlos Ghosn will remain in jail until at least April 22nd. He has been denied any appeals, and he has denied all allegations of wrongdoing. He said he is innocent. Joining me right now in a Fox Business exclusive is Carlos Ghosn's wife, Carole Ghosn, who has also been questioned by authorities. Carole, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
I know this has been a very tough period for you. Can you take us back and tell us what happened? Your husband was completely shocked when he got off a plane and sent to jail. What is it, 120 days ago now?
Exactly. So Carlos gets off the plane and they tell him he has a problem with his visa, and he goes into a room and he sees a man sitting down. He tells him, I'm, the prosecutor from Tokyo, and we'd like you to come with us to the detention center. And Carlos said, for what? And he said, you're under arrest. He didn't explain to him anything. He didn't even question him. He just took him to the detention center. They took all his clothes off. They took everything off. They put him in this, pajamas, and they threw him in jail.
And he's been in jail. Well, he was there for 107 days, and then he was out on bail.
Exactly.
Tell me about that, because I was about to interview Carlos Ghosn 2 weeks ago, and while we were waiting for you to call in, for him to call in to do the interview, 20 agents stormed in the apartment and took him away again.
Exactly. The doorbell rang at 5:50 in the morning, as if, we're terrorists and they wanted to take us by surprise. And we opened the door. We were, I jumped out of bed. I was in my pajamas. They came in. The first thing, they were very concerned because we had a camera in the apartment that the judge put as part of the bail condition. They were so concerned where the camera is, and they wanted to take it down because they didn't want the world to see what they were up to. And then they told Carlos, you're coming with us again to the detention center. You're under arrest. And they didn't tell him why. They just took him, and he got dressed. And as he was leaving, he tried to grab a book because he knew he was going to be in solitary confinement at the detention center. And they told him, no book. And then he tried to grab a piece of chocolate to put in his pocket. They told him, no chocolate. And I said, why can't he take a piece of chocolate? And they said, this is Japan. These are our ways. And they took him away, and he left. And I have to tell you, Maria, I was never as proud of Carlos as that day. Because, and I've been so proud of him for so many reasons, because he left with his head out very high, and he left in dignity, and he didn't open his mouth. And it was just so hard to see him go, and he didn't question them, and I was crying and I was panicked, and that was it. And they took him, and then they stayed 4 hours in the apartment searching a 50 square meter apartment. And they took my passport. I didn't understand why they took my passport. I'm not under arrest. I'm not a suspect. They took my phones. They took my laptop. They took these letters that I wrote every day to Carlos while he was in the detention center. They took all the papers that, that his lawyers gave him regarding the case, which is, they're not supposed to take all these things. And then they wanted to take me in for questioning, and I said, no, I want a lawyer. I'm an American citizen, and, I'm allowed to have a phone call. I wanted to call my kids to tell them, I'm okay, don't worry about me. I was so worried about my children and my parents. And they said, no phone call. I said, why not? I mean, and they said, this is Japan. Again, these are our laws. And they forced me to give the codes of my phone, and then I did not go with them for questioning, and then they left after 4 hours.
They treated you like a prisoner as well in your own home. You were in this apartment, court-appointed apartment. You wanted to go to the bathroom. You wanted to take a shower.
Yes,
and they wouldn't let you do that.
No, I was in my pajamas, and I said, I'd like to go to the bathroom. And at first they said no. I said, no, I have to go to the bathroom. A woman walks in there with me, and she does like a body check. What am I going to hide under my pajamas? And then I went to the bathroom. She's standing in there with me. what was I supposed to do? So every time I went to the bathroom, they did a body check, and she stood there with me. And then I was so stressed out after a few hours, I said, please let me take a shower and get dressed. She came into the bathroom with me, watching me shower, and she handed me the towel when I came out. I mean, is this how we treat people?
Carole, I know this is very hard for you. And your husband has been under incredible pressure. Do you have any idea how the conditions are for Carlos Ghosn right now? What are they battering him? Are they hurting him? What have you heard from him?
No, physically they're not violent, but they question him. Without a lawyer. This is in Japan. This is happening until midnight. He's not allowed to have a lawyer. He's in solitary confinement. The lights are on all the time, day and night. They took his. He's not allowed to have a watch. They want to mental abuse him, disorient him. And he takes a shower twice a week. On the weekends, they lock his room, and he can't come out till Monday. So he doesn't even get his half an hour of walking on the roof to get a bit of daylight and fresh air. And they pass the food under, like, the door.
Hey, they're treating him like a murderer.
Yes.
I mean, these financial misconduct allegations, Carlos said he's innocent of.
Yes, Carlos is innocent. This is, this is bigger than him.
How is his physical being? We read in the paper that he's having kidney failure, possibly. Is he okay physically?
He's lost 10 kilos. Is he okay physically? Spending 120 days in detention, you can't be okay physically when you're only eating a bowl of rice and you're under all this tension. When I saw him, his hands were very yellow, as if he had jaundice. It was lack of sunlight. I was very worried about him. Carlos, he's okay, but is he healthy? No, he's not healthy.
You're an American citizen.
Yes.
Carlos's children are American citizens. Your children, obviously, together, his family's American citizens. Have you heard from the American government? Has anyone reached out to comment about the way Carlos is being treated?
No, we haven't heard.
Tell me what happened with you, because after they rearrested him, they wanted to question you, and they were mad that you left.
Yeah.
They took your passport, but then you had another passport.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
So, yes, luckily I had another passport, and so it happened on Thursday. Friday night, I got on a plane and I went to Paris because Carlos is a French citizen, and I wanted to get help from the French people and tell the story. After what happened, I was traumatized. So the Japanese accused me of running away to hide evidence, that I'm guilty, which was not the case. I was terrified. I know no one in Japan. They took my phones. I had no communication to the outside world. My husband's in jail. I can't see him. We're not allowed to see him while he's in detention. We can't talk to him. I haven't heard his voice. I don't know how he's doing other than from the lawyers. And then they called me back in to be questioned. And I went back to Japan to show them that we are innocent. We have nothing to hide. And I was scared of their treatment, yes, but I'm not scared to go back. So I went back after 3 days, I went back to Japan, I testified in court, and now I'm here in New York.
It must be very difficult for you to travel back to Japan, just knowing what they're doing to him. I mean, are you scared for your own safety?
Of course I'm scared. I'm scared because what I saw, I didn't find normal treatment. And but I have to tell you, I feel so guilty I left him behind, even though I don't see him. And now he's all alone.
I'm so sorry, Carole. You haven't spoken to him. You're not allowed to speak to him.
No.
And what are they telling you in response to why you can't even? He can't even make a phone call. This is their
their judicial system. These are their laws, and this is Japan, as they say.
I mean, they are the third largest economy, and they said that they were a democracy, but there haven't been formal charges, and he can't defend himself. Do you believe he will get a fair trial?
Well, according to his lawyers, they're not too confident because the signs that we've been saying, no.
You don't think he'll get a fair trial?
I don't think so. I hope he will, for our sake, because if he does get a fair trial, Carlos is innocent. But, his lawyers are not too confident.
So what happened, Carole? This was a coup. I reported it right from day one because I knew that there was upset behind the scenes about him possibly wanting to merge Renault and Nissan. Was this a coup? That's what Carlos said.
Yes.
Tell us what happened. So his number two.
His number two. His number two with another person, Harry Nada, from what we understand, and there's a third one, Omnura, I think his name is. They planned this, and even the board of Nissan did not know about this. And they found out with everyone else when it hit the news. And the auditor of Nissan, if there's something wrong in the company, you would go to the board first, correct? And say, hey, listen, I'm seeing things, what should we do about it? He didn't tell the board. They went straight to the prosecutors. So, something happened that the steps that it took, it shouldn't have been this way.
Carlos was celebrated in Japan at one time. He rescued Nissan from failure. I remember there were comic books written about Carlos, that he was this celebrated CEO that fixed one of the country's jewels in Nissan. How did the sentiment turn so against him so quickly?
Well, it's when you want to tarnish someone's reputation with the press, it's very easy. They kept on feeding negative and false information every day, turning people against Carlos, and this is what happened in Japan. We were told not to speak out. His first lawyer told him, in Japan you stay quiet, you don't say anything, you don't defend yourself publicly. In the meantime, Nissan was trashing Carlos all the time and ruining his reputation, and as if they forgot that he saved them out of bankruptcy. All the years and everything that he did was forgotten. And the funny thing is, when all these accusations, there was no money being taken. And as if they threw him in jail, and then they said, okay, now we have him in jail, let's go find things that he's done wrong.
I want to talk to you about that, Carole. We're going to take a short break and come back with Carole Ghosn, because there's a structure at Nissan, whereas if there was financial agreements, they had to go to the board and the compensation committee first. Stay with us, Carole Ghosn. We're going to take a short break.